countries of Europe lived together in harmony. Ha, just kidding. They all hated each other.
The situation in early 1900s Europe was, to put it lightly, tense. Germany had just started building a new powerful navy to rival Great Britain, France was still bitter about the loss of Alsace and Lorraine to Germany, and weapons technology had improved quickly in the last few decades, and the major European powers were kinda eager to test them out. There were also tensions between Russia and Great Britain over control of the Middle East, and there was a rivalry between Russia and Austria-Hungary over control of the Balkans. And making the whole situation worse were the many defensive pacts and alliances between the major powers, meaning that the next big war would include everyone. There was the Triple Alliance between Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, the Franco-Russian Alliance, and the Entente Cordiale between Britain and France. Everyone knew a war was coming. The only question was when and how it would start. There were many potential sparks for the big war leading up to 1914, including the First Moroccan Crisis, where German King Kaiser Wilhelm II declared his full support for French Morocco's independence, which pissed off France. And second was Austria-Hungary's sudden annexation of Bosnia in 1908, which pissed off Serbia and infuriated Russia, which had saw itself as the protectorate of all Slavs.
Eventually, it all fell apart when the Archduke of Austria, Franz Ferdinand, was assassinated by Serbian nationalists on June 28, 1914. Austria wanted to use this as an excuse to settle Slavic nationalism, however Russia was backing support for Serbia. To prepare for potential Russian intervention, Austria-Hungary sought German assistance, to which they agreed to provide full support. On July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia.
Germany's plan at the outbreak of the war was to quickly move around French defenses built along their border by going through Belgium. This, however, angered Great Britain, who then declared war on Germany. But they kept marching forward and reached almost all the way to Paris, where French generals ordered them to stop retreating and launch a counterattack, and they pushed the Germans all the way back to here, before digging into trenches and then moving north towards the sea, beginning trench warfare.
What made trench warfare so terrible was the invention of the machine gun. They were so powerful that it made traditional warfare impossible. Trenches were dug to hide from the deadly barrage of bullets fired. The deadly defensive ability that the machine guns and trenches brought to the battlefield led to a stalemate which only resulted in an incredible amount of casualties on both sides of the battlefield.
Early on into the Great War, Britain leveraged its enormous navy to create a blockade in the English Channel and the North Sea, preventing resources and food from reaching Germany. Eventually, Germany, fed up with the British control over the sea, announced a new ruinous naval strategy: unrestricted submarine warfare. All ships entering or leaving the British Isles, including merchant and passenger ships, will now be sunk without warning. Through 1915, over 50 ships were sunk by German U-boats. On May 7th, the Lusitania was sunk, killing over 1,200 passengers. Unfortunately for the Germans, this included over 100 Americans, causing massive outrage in the States. Germany, under pressure of American intervention, announced they would cease unrestricted submarine warfare.
Aside from the original 7 countries, new allies joined the war on both sides. The Ottoman Empire joined on the side of the Central Powers, Italy joined the Allies even though it had previously had an alliance with Germany and Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria joined the Central Powers and helped defeat Serbia, and Romania joined the Allies before quickly getting, that. And finally, the United States joined the war on the side of the Allies after the Zimmermann telegram and after German threats of resuming unrestricted submarine warfare. And that was it. Just 1 year later, Bulgaria and then the Ottoman Empire surrendered, followed by Austria-Hungary, who surrendered on the 3rd, and then about 2 seconds later, completely fell apart. And after 4 years and millions dead, the war finally ended with Germany's surrender on November 11th, 1918.
In the following months, peace negotiations were held. Unfortunately, due to various disagreements, the United States withdrew from the meetings.
Hey, England, here's what I think the treaty should look like.
14 points? That's way too many. Let me show you what a real treaty looks like.
What? How is this supposed to create any peace? You know what? Forget it. Have fun in the next war.
On June 28, 1919, the Treaty of Versailles was signed. Basically, the entire war was all Germany's fault, and now they had to pay crippling reparations to the Allied nations.
Here, yeah, just sign this this paper confirming your death and complete destruction.
Fine.
Here's a good comparison. Germans before 1914 were healthy, they were strong, reasonably well off financially, brave, and above all, patriotic towards their country, compared to Germans after 1914, who were ashamed of their country, hungry and poor due to massive inflation, weak, oh, and also dead. But you know, as bad as it may have seemed, Germany was able to recover from its financial problems, develop new friendships with Britain and France, and let go of their old grudges. And Europe, forever after, was a place of peace and prosperity. Thanks for watching.